It's another Wednesday live show, and it's another Wednesday live show that starts with a little bit of Lamar Jackson news that might be concerning to some Ravens fans across the country. First off, welcome in. My name is Joey Petersen. Jonas Schaefer doing what he does best, giving us many heart attacks, tweeting out at 1:30 as the Ravens were reporting for practice, and the first portion is open to the media. He said, just like last Wednesday, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is missing at practice. Obviously, you, myself, we all waited patiently to hear from head coach John Harbaugh, who spoke after the practice was over, and he said Lamar Jackson's absence today is very similar to his absence last week when he was dealing with knee soreness. Harbaugh declined to comment further on it. His expectations for Jackson's availability, he says it is what it is. A little bit of a vague statement there at the end. We're going to break this all down in our first cut today, but I will say there's part of me that's excited that he feels it's just the same thing as last week, just dealing with a little bit of soreness. But there's also part of me that's a little bit concerned because it's an ankle injury. So now here we are, halfway through this season, a little bit more than halfway through the month of November, and he has dealt with a hamstring injury that sidelined him for 3 games, a knee injury that sidelined him for last Wednesday's practice, and now he's dealing with an ankle as well. So I'm not going to get you guys worried too much because at the end of the day, John Harbaugh did say the absence is similar to the absence last week, but I do think it's something to monitor. It's something to look at, and it's something to talk about. Speaking of things to talk about, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. So happy that you guys are with me. Today's news and rumors, a little bit of Lamar Jackson stuff. John Harbaugh also gave a ton of other injury updates, and there are some players that are expected to be back in the lineup very, very soon. Some people I think you'll be very, very excited about. Then we'll get into my Ravens-Jets preview as Baltimore's taken on to Rod Taylor and the New York Football Jets. And then up last, we're going to get into live Ravens mailbag. We'll start that cutoff with a little bit of Chidobe Awuzie talk, and then we're going to wrap that cut up with our live Ravens mailbag. With that, I bring on our producer, Gage, and I bring out our first question. Gage, I'll pose it to you as we pose it to the flock. What is your concern level with the Ravens offense after back-to-back games of not looking amazing, especially that game against Cleveland? Where do you feel? Scale for me 1 to 100 for me.
Right now, I would say because of the game they have going against the Jets, I would say probably around like a 50 to 55 in that range. But if this continues going after this Jets game, then it's going to raise up to about an 80 because, I mean, you faced against a really great defensive line in the Cleveland Browns last week with Myles Garrett, who pretty much had a historical game with 4 sacks in that game. And you're going against a Jets team that just lost their 2 of their best defensive players during the trade deadline, and Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. So there's no excuse to have a terrible offensive performance in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Like, I will tell you this, right? And I will agree with you in that sense. It's easy to shit on the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
Everybody does it every year. We've done it for eternity. And I'm going to raise my grandkids to do the exact same thing. But I think if you are a fan of the sport of football and not just the Baltimore Ravens, you can look at them and say, that is a top 5 defense in the National Football League with maybe not even the best defensive player in the league. Mm-hmm. I think Myles Garrett has an argument to be the best player in the National Football League.
Oh, 100%.
He changes games. It's unmatched.
If he isn't in that game, the score will be more of a blowout than it actually was.
Yeah.
And it was also a divisional matchup. So you could tell that for the Browns players and the fans, it meant a lot. It was like the Super Bowl for them.
Yeah.
And when Shador came out there and played, it really felt a lot like if the stadium came alive. Like they were waiting for Shador to come, and once he came, the entire stadium erupted. So it just felt like it was a playoff environment, even though it was in Cleveland.
It did. It had a fun feel to it. I also just think, cold weather games that end like under the lights, those games are always a lot of fun. Make sure you let me know the answer to this question down below in the comments. I see King Lee is with us. I see Ron, Attendant Squad, Fierce, Michael, Bible, Bless, Car Comms. A lot of talk about Daniel Fa'alele, and if you watched yesterday's video, I talked about Daniel Fa'alele basically the entire time. something has to change, something has to happen. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. That's going to be at the end of our first cut because John Harbaugh talked a little bit about Emory Jones. And I think you should be pretty excited about what he had to say. Attendance squad says 60. I would say if I had to put a numerical value on my concern level, I'm probably sitting about a 40 with the whole offense. But if you ask me goal line offense, I'm sitting at like an 80. Really concerned of their lack of ability to score once they get in the goal line. Shantae saying hello. What's going on? We have Snowprod saying hi, Joey. How are you all doing? So great to see you guys on this Wednesday evening. Our live poll, I asked, are you concerned with Lamar's health? 59% say yes, 41% say no. Carcom saying Falele has to go 100%. Fierce says 25%. I'm optimistic, perhaps too much. No such thing, Fierce, as too much optimism. Shantae saying 50. Max Kaser giving me a hello. Hello to all. So appreciative you guys are with us. And if you want to get a question in and you want to get on the show, make sure you use hashtag Ravens down there. In that comment section, ask me a question. Attendance squad got a question in early, as he always does. And make sure you guys get yours in as well. Hashtag Ravens. Joey, what is your score prediction for Sunday? Hashtag Ravens. Joey, should the Ravens sign a free agent? Who do you think it should be? Hashtag Ravens. Whatever you got for me, let me know down below in that comment section. Ravens can beat Jets with any QB at the moment. The Jets are trash from a Pats fan. They are not good. And as much as Gage loves the Ravens, Gage grew up and was born and raised to be a Jets fan, unfortunately for him. Gage, talk to me a little bit about the state of the Jets in 2025.
The team came in with a little bit of optimism, I'd say. With having Justin Fields at your quarterback.
New coach,
and not just that, but going into the season, how he handled the Aaron Rodgers mess. Because prior to that, Aaron Rodgers was just kind of like taking over that team. Like, it was his way or the highway, kind of like prima donna throughout. And once he was kicked out, it felt like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. Aaron Glenn, he has a plan, he has something in place. And then Justin Fields, he was great in college, but it has never really translated well to the pros. And I was optimistic going into the season because he's playing with his wide receiver he had growing up in college and Garrett Wilson. So I thought that was going to be a dynamic duo with those two in the NFL this season. And it showed off for a bit. The first week against the Steelers, it showed like a bit of promise and a bit of growth.
Yeah, it did.
But then it just, the wheels and the wagon just completely fell off right after that. And it was very aggravating to watch because once a Jet fan, you feel like, all right, you finally got the pieces together. But once you see what the product is on the field, you are just going back like, all right, rebuild mode number 35, I guess, because you don't know where else to go from here.
Yeah, I really do like Robert Saleh.
He got blackballed in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that the bad decision that franchise made wasn't hiring Robert Saleh. It was signing Aaron Rodgers. I think that is the bad decision that they made just because you saw it really tank the whole thing. Fierce says, I got my Ray Lewis and Flowers jerseys in yesterday. Steven, so glad those finally got to you. Sorry that it took a little bit longer. The person we have in here that's in charge of our shipping stuff, she actually does not work here anymore as of like 2 weeks ago. So things are running a little bit slower than usual. But back to Robert Saleh, I'll just end it on this quick note. When we did our John Harbaugh replacement video, which was done, I think, after the Texans game, I had Robert Saleh on my list. I really do like him. We got 31 people hanging out with us. Make sure that we are liking today's video. I need 5 more likes. And once we get there, we can get into our first cut for today. Alrighty? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And run that thing up, ladies and gentlemen. I need 5 more. Nico saying bench 77. Daniel Falele is the reason this is happening. I don't disagree, my friend. That is for sure. If you want to hear how I think and feel about Daniel Falele, well, I would interest you to check out yesterday's video. Yeah, honestly, pretty much every single weekly video. I'm going to throw my Daniel Falele video in the chat. If you want to check it out, throw it a like, give it a watch. Boom. Fierce says y'all threw in a bottle opener, too. Yeah, a little chat sports swag for you, Steven, from my man Fierce. Okay, Gage, we got there. Are we ready to roll with our first video? Coming up, we're going to talk today's news and rumors, which, of course, the Lamar Jackson injury update. But it's not just going to be that. It's going to be Lamar. It's going to be some stuff on our Darius Washington, Tavius Robinson, Emory Jones Jr. Make sure to stay tuned. Gage, are we ready to roll, my friend? All righty, our first segment coming up to you guys right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. Today's show, Lamar Jackson misses practice again. It's another Wednesday, and it is another Wednesday. The Baltimore Ravens out there on that practice field without their QB1. Jonas Schaefer doing what he does best, which is pretty much give every single one of us a heart attack, as he tweeted out at 1:32 when they were reporting for practice and when that first portion was open to the media. Like last Wednesday, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is missing at practice, and panic spread over every Ravens fan across the country. It's a pretty lengthy injury report. He was not the only one. Some big names on there as well. Roquan Smith was not at practice today. Rashad Bateman, Kyle Hamilton, Keon Martin, Andrew Voorhees, Ronnie Stanley, Isaiah Likely. So it feels like, Joey, how is this the news that Ravens fans have been waiting on, that they've been wishing for, hoping for? Well, John Harbaugh gives the Baltimore Ravens fans some hope. And not just with Lamar Jackson. We're going to start off with Lamar Jackson. But he also, make sure don't go anywhere, gives some awesome updates on guys like Darius Washington, Tavius Robinson, and maybe teases a little bit of a change at the offensive line, all that coming up and more. But I need you guys to help me get Lamar healthy. Act like it's a video game, okay? Every like is 1 bar of health. And when we get to 1,000 bars of health, that means Lamar Jackson is fully healthy and ready to go. Boom, hit that like button and help me out. So John Harbaugh spoke after practice, everybody anxiously awaiting what he had to say. First question he got asked was, Lamar Jackson, what's going on? Second straight Wednesday practice he's missed. And he said Lamar's absence today is similar to his absence last week when he was dealing with knee soreness. Harbaugh declined to comment further on his expectations for Jackson's availability. He said, quote, "It is what it is." Now, that end is a little bit vague. I don't love the fact that he ended that saying it is what it is, but I think that also can show you it's probably not very serious if you've got your head coach saying about a quarterback injury, it is what it is, right? It also, I think, is a little bit of a positive note that his absence is similar to last Wednesday's absence, where he missed that practice, but guess where he was on Thursday? Back on the practice field, played on Sunday, was a full go. And that's why, frankly, I am not too worried. If I were worried about anything, it's the fact that it's an ankle injury. Because then that means so far this year he's dealt with a hamstring, a knee, which was last week, and then now his ankle. So that concerns me a bit, but I'm not concerned for his status for Sunday's game against New York or his ability to lead this team for the rest of this season. I do think when you do talk about a Lamar Jackson injury, you can point to one thing and one thing only, and that's the 5 guys that are in front of him. In fact, if you look at the amount of times he's gotten sacked per game throughout his career, this is the highest. Second highest was in 2021, but outside of that year, it's not even close for the other years. 3.2 sacks a game for Lamar Jackson in 2025. That's almost triple the amount from last season. And if I'm being real with you, honestly, I'm down for him not practicing on Wednesdays for the rest of the year. If you just told him, hey, look, Lamar, you're not going to be out there for another Wednesday practice for the rest of this season, I'd say, dude, I support it. Because guess what? I still got faith in him. And he needs the rest. He needs to get healthy. Now, did he have his best game against the Cleveland Browns? No, he didn't. Not by a long shot. I'm actually pretty sure that was the only game in his career where he's thrown 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Now, one of those interceptions was not his fault. It went off the hands of Keaton Mitchell, but still 14 for 25, 193 yards, A passer rating of 47.6. Those are not good numbers, but I'm not concerned with his play. I'll tell you that right now. I never have been, and frankly, I probably never will be. Okay? Again, I think a lot of it is because of this offensive line. I think that's why he's dealing with these injuries, and I think that's why he's not playing up to the standard I think we all expected him, even though he's still having a really good season. Like, come on. The reason that we should all be concerned if he's going to have a lack of health, and Gage, we don't have to pair these two together, is because of Daniel Faalele, a guy we talked about yesterday. Right? This is the reason, and we could just shuffle through these, why you should be concerned with his health. Because he misses blocks, and then that leads to Lamar Jackson getting hit like this. Okay? Don't go anywhere. Like I told you in the open, coming up on today's show, I'm going to give you more great news from John Harbaugh on the injury front. Some guys that you should be expecting to see back in Ravens practice jerseys sooner rather than later. What is your concern level with Lamar Jackson's health? Let me know down below. Give me a 1 or 2 100. 100, you're saying like I'm pressing the red panic button. 1, you're saying I'm not losing an ounce of sleep or worrying about this one bit. Let me know your answer in that comment section. So John Harbaugh went on to speak after practice, and he said that Tavius Robinson, who's dealing with a foot injury, and Ardarius Washington, who tore his Achilles back in May, are, quote, getting close. Of course, we know that Ardarius Washington has been out since the spring. Guys, this is phenomenal news on both fronts. For Tavius Robinson, what that means is just more bodies on the defensive line. More bodies in a spot that you desperately need more bodies. Harbaugh spoke today about Trenton Simpson getting more snaps like he did this past Sunday at edge rusher. You need a guy like Tavius Robinson back in the fold. And then for Ardarius Washington, man, I am so excited to watch this guy play Ravens football again. He, to me, breathes the mantra of play like a Raven. He's tough, he's fast, he's physical, and he is a big reason for the defensive turnaround that you saw in 2024. I mean, think back to last season. Sure, it ended solidly. You won a lot of really good games, and of course, you didn't get it done how you wanted to in the playoffs, but your defense had a massive turnaround, and that coincided with a guy like Ardarius Washington being more of a fit in this lineup. Look at the change from weeks 1 through 8 to weeks 9 through 12, and then it even got better at the end of the season. His PFF grades in 2024, he had an 80 overall grade, 8th best safety out of 97 strong safeties in the NFL. His coverage grade, 84.2, 5th best out of 97. His tackle grade, 61.4. It just feels right now, and I get it, it's ironic for a video that started off with Lamar Jackson injury news. It feels like Baltimore's getting healthy at the right time. It feels like they're getting key pieces back as you're about to enter to a stretch where you play a lot of really good football teams. Do you want to continue the good health? If you do, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video for me right now if you have not yet. Boom, like the show. We got more to talk about in just a little bit, but I got to talk about our awesome sponsor of today's show, and that's our friends at Ethos. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married a year and a half ago. I imagine we'll buy a house over the next couple of months, start having kids sometime soon-ish, and if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. There is no complicated process, and it's 100% online. As of March of 2025, Business Insider actually named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. Just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help them find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary and rates may vary. More injury news from John Harbaugh to round out the show. He said that guard Emory Jones has made, quote, excellent progress since returning from shoulder surgery and that he is, quote, getting close to being ready to play. And this is awesome news. And I find it interesting that he said he's getting close to being ready to play. Maybe that means John Harbaugh is a little bit more keen on the idea of Emory Jones getting some snaps in at right guard or left guard. Because if he just meant like he's getting close to being ready to be like truly active for a game, he would have said, yeah, he's getting ready to, be active. But he said play. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it. Maybe I'm just hopeful and wishfully thinking right now. But if you're going to make the change for me, Jones, I feel like the time is in the next couple of weeks. Look, the Jets defense doesn't scare me. The Bengals defense doesn't scare me. But after that, you play Pittsburgh. You play New England, Green Bay, Pittsburgh again. Like, we talked about this yesterday. If you're planning on getting Emory Jones any kind of playing time over this season, get it going as quickly as you can. That's going to be imperative for his success and the success of this offensive line. But if you don't believe that he should play, and if your plan is not to really get him much playing time, personally, I don't think that's the right decision. But I would not be surprised if you just don't see him at all this year, unless things just even explode more than they have with that front five, namely with Voorhees and Faalele. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials, Twitter, Instagram. Same handle for both of those. Made it nice and easy for you. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We give you daily videos. I took over as the host of this channel in August of 2024. So that was what, Gage? Probably, it was approximately like 450 days ago. We've given you way more than 450 videos. That's how locked in we are. That's how locked in you need to be. So make sure, subscribe. Alrighty, that is cut numero uno. One in the books as my gross Keurig coffee is getting even like, it's not lukewarm yet, but it's not hot anymore. Dr. Ilwan says, we won't see him. You are way better here. Attendance squad, Joey, why do you think Lamar is not running as much? I think he's just banged up. He's dealt with a hamstring. He's dealt with a knee. Now he's dealt with an ankle. I think that's the answer to it. Like, I don't think people have figured out how to defend Lamar Jackson's legs because I don't think that's something you can figure out. Lamar's one of those guys that's almost impossible to game plan for, almost impossible to defend, and I don't think that that's just, like, happen randomly, So, I'm not really worried about the legs. It is what it is. And I would love to have that, be added back to this game. But I think he's dealing with a little more health stuff than we all think. Jacko said, Joey, how do you like your coffee? A little bit of cream. That's it. Like I just brewed a Keurig. I think it was like light Colombian blend. And I got a little creamer in it. When I have it at home, like I'll make it coming in. We usually do like French vanilla grounds on a French press. Yeah. Which sounds like nice and like, ooh. But like it's literally just like you can get one for $20 at Walmart. And then I usually do like right now I'm doing a little like peppermint creamer, just a little bit of it. Give the holiday season, holiday feels. But like if I had to drink it black, I could. I don't prefer it that way though. Because I've only started drinking coffee since we got married. So like a year and a half, I drank zero coffee up until like we got married.
I was in a similar boat. I really started drinking coffee when I started working more like 9-to-5 jobs, so you can get up so you can wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
But my parents had a Keurig left over, so they just gave it to me when I moved out. All right, cool. So I usually just have like a caramel Keurig and just like caramel coffee cream and all that.
Yeah, I used to. The only coffee I would drink in college was like holiday Starbucks with like 70 grams of sugar in it. And I still like those from time to time. They're great. But now I just like, I'm not to the point where I would say I need it. Like if I went without it, I would be perfectly fine. I'm just kind of naturally energetic. But I just like it. Like I like the ritual of it. I like the taste of it. Like I don't get caffeine headaches if I don't have it. But I do. I just enjoy it.
Oh, my dad loves coffee. Like he drinks it black. Like he trained his body to drink it black. And in college.
It's required, man. Like 6 months ago, even I couldn't drink it like black, and now if I like had to, I could. Like if there was a gun to my head and was like drink this coffee black and semi enjoy it, I think I could do that.
Yeah, I can choke it down, but it'll take a while.
It's me knocking at your door. Says I don't know how people like black coffee. Yeah, I don't either. I always thought it was cool though. Like when I was a kid, I'll never forget this. My sister, oldest sister, who is how old is she? She's 30, so she's 5 years older than I am. Not to age myself for all of you guys who didn't know how old I was. She's 5 years older than me, and so she was dating this guy. She was like in late high school, so I was in middle school, and he ordered like black coffee somewhere. And I was like 13 years old, 12 years old, and I was like, that is so sick. Yeah, that's like an ingrained memory I have, and I was like, I need to make myself like black coffee. Steven said, I like my coffee the way I like my women, white, hot, creamy, and rich. That's hilarious. Jacko said, I don't drink coffee, but I figure because I like the smell of it, I do dark roast black. I do like the smell of it. I love the smell of it. That's my favorite thing. Like, in the mornings, I'm a very, like, ritualistic person. Not as in, like, not in, like, a spiritual ritual sense, but, like, I do the same things every morning. You know, I'm very scheduled and regimented. Mm-hmm. And, like, one of the things I do is, like, make our coffee. And it's, like, 6:45, 7 a.m. And, like, I have to, pour the hot water on the coffee grounds. And then, like, the smell comes up. And it's, like, early in the morning. And I love this.
Like, that's like a morning smell. Like, same way when I was a kid growing up, especially on Christmas. Yes. Christmas morning especially, because my parents would always make coffee, like, at 5 a.m., so run downstairs and just smell coffee first thing. Like, all right, it's going to be a great day.
There we go. Yeah, it's a good. But I did ask for on my Christmas list because now I'm at the point where like my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, my mom, and my wife are all like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? Because I have awesome in-laws, and they're very, very kind to us and me, and they love me, and I love them. And but, like, I'm just at the point in my life, I don't want anything, Like, I don't need anything. Yeah. And so I'm, like, to the point where I just started throwing stuff on my Christmas list. And I was like, if y'all want to get me this, give me this. I threw a Ninja coffee maker on there. And so we'll see if we get that. But it's, like, one of those deals, like, I don't need it. But, like, if someone wants to get me it, I'll take it. Yeah. That was the great thing about getting married, having a wedding registry.
That helps a lot.
It was awesome.
That sounds cool.
You just put stuff on there, bang.
It's like a mini wish list, basically.
It's the craziest thing ever. It is wild. I'm gonna divorce Kennedy just so I can marry her again.
Just to keep that
so
going.
New influx of gifts.
I think you found the new hack for getting married. I think you found it.
Chante, is it Chante or Shante? Let me know down below. Regardless, do you think Emory Jones plays the next game against the Ravens? I don't think so. But maybe the game after that. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Make sure everybody gets their questions in.
Yeah, we need some. We do need questions in here.
But back like a little lap. What's good, Flockers? Moggs, your comment yesterday on our video made me laugh. I'm glad
I was laughing with that.
I'm glad I killed you when I started the video looking this way.
I was happy. I was curious to see what the comments looked like after that video because I was like, I've never seen that before, but I was happy to see a lot of people have that same comical reaction to it. Because we all know the same pain. He does it every single week. Daniel Fowley does the exact same damn thing.
Yeah. Can I get some love on the thought of Ben Cleveland at this point? Anyone take this place? Jukes McGooks. First off, awesome name. Second off, I'm right there with you, man. I think Ben Cleveland should at least get a shot. Because in my opinion, what could be worse, man? What could be worse? I feel like we aren't talking about Kyle Hamilton injury. He's such an important piece. What are your thoughts on not practicing? I'm not worried about it. I think it's similar ilk to Lamar Jackson, just trying to get him a little bit healthy. Like, if you remember late in that game against the Ravens, he hit somebody.
You mean the Browns?
Browns.
Yeah.
He hit someone and was very slow to get up.
It was scary looking.
Yeah.
But
so I don't think it's too serious. I just think he got a little banged up. and they're trying to.
I agree, especially on this point of the season, this late, like in the midst of the playoff push, already around the corner. I rather err on the side of caution than taking that risk right now. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Mog sent in some laughing faces. We're gonna put the tinfoil hats on with Dr. Ilwan. Said, I'm starting to believe keeping the line as is helps with front office and negotiations, meaning 8 won't be too productive, keep his value down, hopefully number 8 overcome. I get what you're saying. There's an argument to be made that is maybe what's happening. I hope that's not what's happening, but we'll see, man. I really hope that's not the case. That would be pretty crazy if it were. You have my name right the first time. The C sounds like an S. Shante. There we go. Do you think 77 would play better at DT? Great question. Yeah, we'll see. He knows something about hitting the quarterback. Okay, let's start with our next segment. Keep getting those questions in. If you guys have not already, Gage, are we ready to roll, my friend? All right, coming up is our preview of the New York Jets, and that's going to start right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the show. My name is Joey Petersen. Coming up for you, we're going to start off with scouting the New York Jets, and then I'm going to give you 5 keys to a Ravens victory, and we're going to wrap this thing up like we always do, my score prediction for Sunday's game against the Jets, Jets. Don't jinx it, though. Do you want the Ravens to get above 500 for the first time this year? They can do that with a win on Sunday. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you do want that to happen. We need as many good vibes as we possibly can sent up to Baltimore. So like today's video if you want them to win, and we'll get started with the scouting. The New York Jets are not having the season of their dreams. Came in with a little bit of optimism, signing, Justin Fields in free agency, new head coach Aaron Glenn. I don't think they're expected to be a great team, but 2-8 so far through the first 10 games, I think is still a disappointment even to Jets fans. Their 2 wins are against 2 AFC North foes, the Browns and the Bengals. Hopefully that trend does not continue. First-year head coach in Aaron Glenn, who they hired away from the Detroit Lions. He was their defensive coordinator just this week, as we reported on Monday. They benched Justin Fields in order for longtime backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor, and over the trade deadline, their defense, which already was not that great, got even a little bit worse as they traded Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks, and then they traded Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys for a first and a second-round pick. So it's easy to see they were embracing the rebuild and looking towards the future. Speaking of the future, you play them in just about 24 hours, so here are my keys to victory. Number 1. You got to play mistake-free football. This is so big when you're playing anybody in the National Football League, but especially when you are playing teams that have worse rosters than you do. Because let's be honest, Baltimore's the better team. Baltimore is the better team at almost every single position group on the field. But a question that we ask a lot is, how do you lose to teams you're better than? Because we see it happen every single week in this league. That's the reason that Vegas has lots of big buildings with lots of pretty lights. Well, the answer to that is you make stupid mistakes. My case in point, last week's game against the Cleveland Browns. Now, you didn't lose that game. You won it by a touchdown because the defense absolutely clutched up, but it was a lot closer than anybody anticipated and anybody was comfortable with. Against Dylan Gabriel for a half and Shedeur Sanders for the other half, well, it was that way because you made mistakes. You muffed the punt at the goal line, right? Recovered by Cleveland. And then, of course, they turned that into 3 points. Pick 6 inside the 20. That hurts you mightily. Interception thrown in your own red zone at the 16-yard line. Just after getting an interception yourself the next play. And also, let's not forget, Jake Hummel jumping off sides on a punt that then turned into another 3 points for the Cleveland Browns. You got to cut out the stupid mistakes, especially when you play teams that you are better than. What's your score prediction for Ravens versus Jets? Let me know in that comment section down below. My score predictions going to come later in today's video, but make sure you're getting yours in and get it in right now. Key to victory, number 2, you got to be able to score in the red zone, okay? I don't care if you're playing the Jets, if you're playing the Bills, the Chiefs, or the Alabama Crimson Tide. When you get into the red area, you got to be able to convert it into points and hopefully into touchdowns. And right now, Baltimore has not been able to do that. They haven't been able to do that all season long. In fact, they ranked 28th in the National Football League in red zone touchdown percentage, 47.22% of the time. That means less than 50% of the time they cross the 20-yard line, they're putting it in the end zone. They're in that list with the Titans, Raiders, Texans, Saints. If you are ever in a list with the Titans, the Raiders, and the Saints in the year of 2025, you ought to sell your damn football team. And sell it for cheap, too. Okay? It's been horrific all year long. It has been a problem all year long. And the weird thing is, like, it's not just the red zone. A lot of times, people just kind of stall out once they pass the 20. This team, they stall out when they pass the 10. They stall out at the goal line. In my opinion, if Todd Monken has one job and one priority and one focus from this moment to the end of this year, it's fixing that red zone offense, fixing that goal line offense. That's it. Okay, sure, call plays, put in new schemes and switch things up every now and then. But your number one thing, if you've got faith in this team winning a division, going to the playoffs, you're not going to go far if you can't score in the red zone. And it all boils down to the fact that they're struggling to run the ball in the red zone. Now, I don't think that's at fault of Derrick Henry. I don't think it's at fault of, Todd Monken or Lamar Jackson. I think it's the offensive line getting out physical pretty much every single play. Whether they're in run offense or in pass protection, something's got to change. You want the red zone offense to be fixed? If you do, boom, hit that thumbs up button. I want to use this as like a vote counter. How many people see the problems in the red zone and want it to be fixed as quickly as possible? If you are one of those, let me know by liking today's video. Number 3, talking a little bit more about the Jets, less about the Ravens here. You got to be able to take away Breece Hall. Breece Hall is easily the Jets' most exciting player, and he might be their only exciting player left on their roster because he can hurt you in a lot of ways. He can hurt you running the football, but he can also hurt you as a receiving threat from the backfield. I mean, look at his production so far in 2025. Rushing, 152 touches, 722 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4.8 yards a carry. But then as a receiver, 24 receptions, 226 yards, 9.4 yards a catch, a touchdown. His longest reception of 42 yards. And in my opinion, you game plan for Breece Hall very similarly to as you would game plan for Devon Achane. If you missed my preview on Devon Achane a couple of weeks ago before Thursday Night Football, basically I said I would not mind using Kyle Hamilton almost as a spy. Now, I don't want that to be Kyle Hamilton's only focus and only goal and only job in this football game because I think that limits his ability to impact the football game. But I wouldn't mind every now and then just being like, hey, Kyle Hamilton, you go spy Breece Hall. That way, if they hand it off to him, sweet, go tackle him. But if he's going to pass pro for 2 seconds and then slip out to the flat, that's your man. Or if he just stays in pass protection, we've seen Kyle Hamilton be able to rush the passer this year, and it's been a lot of fun. I got more things to talk about in a couple of seconds, but before that, I got to give a massive shout-out to the awesome sponsor of today's video. It is our great friends over at Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Lamar Jackson pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Here are my Prize Pick lineup, or here is my Prize Picks lineup for Sunday's game against New York. Give me the more on Derrick Henry, 86.5 rush yards. Less on Lamar Jackson, 218.5 pass yards. I don't think he's going to be passing much late. I think the Ravens are going to win in a big way. And because of that, I think the Jets are going to be, slinging the pill late in that game. Give me the more than 181.5 pass yards for Tyrod Taylor. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I think you got to go heavy with Derrick Henry in this one, okay? I want to see a lot from the King in this game, kind of like we've seen over the last couple of games. I feel like Derrick Henry has had a solid last few outings in which he kind of started the season on a little bit of a slower note. Like, if you look at his last 5 games, 122 yards, 71 yards, 119, 75, 103. 3 out of the last 5, he's broken 100. And the other 2 that he didn't, he got more than 70. And you're facing off against a Jets rush defense that's in the bottom 10 of pretty much every, every statistic when it comes to rushing the football. Their yards per game, 130.9. Yards per play, not 34. That would be crazy, 3.4. And then their run percentage, the amount of times that teams run against them, 48.5% of the time, 28th in the National Football League. And now he's even with Quinnen Williams for the majority of that game, who we all know now they do not have. So even more incentive to run the football. And he was having a great year. Before he went to the Cowboys, he had 24 run stops. Tied for first in the NFL among defensive tackles. 14 run stuffs, tied for first. 41% double team rate. 20.9% stop expected points added. And 16 quarterback pressures on 201 pass rushes. Quinnen Williams was able to do pretty much anything he wanted to opposing offensive linemen. Well, guess what? He's in Dallas now. He's not in New York. Even more incentive to run the football and run it all game long. I think that's going to be the game plan. So I'm going to set the over-under for 16.5 carries for Derrick Henry. Let me know, over or under down below in the comment section. Let's play Vegas for a second. Do you think he gets 16.5 carries? Let me know down below in the comments. Our last key to victory, forced turnovers, okay? I think you've seen a massive change in this defense recently. I think part of the reason you've been able to see that change is because they've been able to create turnovers over the last couple of games. I mean, so far in 2025, they rank middle of the pack if you just take the season at whole at 1.1 turnovers per game. But if you look at the last 3 ball games, they're averaging 2.3, which is second best in the NFL. There's a lot of reasons that they've turned things around defensively. Their ability to create turnovers is one of them. These are just such massive game changers. I mean, you saw what they did to Cleveland. That pick they got against Lamar, that pick 6 they got against Lamar in the second quarter. Like, those are game changers for the Browns. Now make them game changers for you. Now, you are facing off against a pretty historically safe quarterback. Taylor's played a lot of football in his time, has not thrown a lot of interceptions. And so because of that, I don't know how much you're going to be able to bait him into things. Like, you're not playing against Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, or Shedeur Sanders. I'm not saying he's going to hurt you or slice you up or dice you, but you just might not be able to force turnovers. So maybe it's time for your pass rush to step up and cause a couple of strip sacks. My prediction, blowout. Blowout, okay? Now, I might regret saying this because in 24 hours from now, I might be on this exact platform screaming for everybody to lose their jobs. But as we sit right now, I feel pretty good about this team. And I feel pretty bad about the team they're playing. 38-7 at home, Ravens beat the New York Jets. That's going to do it for today's show. Twitter, you'll find me. Instagram, you'll find me. Same platform. Both of those, right? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Daily videos right here at the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. All righty. Do we? How many? Oh, we got a couple of more. But a lot of the same ones. A lot of Daniel Falele, a lot of Tyler Huntley. Exactly. If you want to get the weigh-in up gauge for that, That would be great. Get those questions in down below. They don't have to be questions. They can be hot takes as well, and I will react to them, okay? But make sure to use hashtag Ravens and get those in. If you've already asked some questions, A, we appreciate you. B, let's let some other people get some questions in. And if you haven't asked one yet, right now is the perfect time to do so. Use hashtag Ravens or Super Chat to make sure you get on today's Q&A. But if you just get your questions in, then there's a good chance you will be featured. Gage, how many are we at right now? Probably like 4 usable ones? 3 usable ones? See you, Whitney. Kimberly saying 38-8. Whitney saying 16-20. Me and Kimberly, birds of a feather. Seeing eye to eye on this. I like it, Kimberly. I like it a lot. Okay, we need probably 2 more questions. Okay, 2 more questions. And use hashtag Ravens to make sure that they get in there.
Or hot takes. Doesn't have to be questions.
Or hot takes, yes. They don't have to be questions. They can be opinions. I will react to them all the same. We got 45 people. Great question. I got a good answer for it. That's like, I think that leads us off. That's a great question, Joseph. Thanks for getting that in. Okay, we need 1 more. And we also need more people to hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. Alrighty, make sure you are getting those likes in, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us, for being here with us. Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's all the same. It's fine. Kimberly saying a lot of good questions. I agree, Kimberly. We need 1 more, just like our man Joseph Frausto. We're going to start off this last segment by talking about Chidobe Awuzie and how awesome he's been this year. And then we're going to round it out with some questions. Dude, he's an underrated player, not even just in Raven circles, but across the National Football League as well. Attendance squad, great question. Moggs. You think that's a good question? Yep. Or has he already asked a good bit? That's fair. You know what? I can count on Moggs. I can count on him because, look, Moggs, great question. We got a ton of questions on the offensive line already. Moggs, what I want from you, and this is why I'm telling you this because I know I can rely on you, give me a hot take. Give me a hot take that I can react to and that we can discuss. Give me a hot take on either the Ravens, the NFL, anything you got. Hot take for me to react to in our mailbag. Okay, I trust Moggs to get it in. And if he doesn't, just roll with that question, but I know he will. I'm ready to roll into the last segment that we've got. Gage, are we ready to go, my friend? All righty. Let me look over the script in just a half second. Okay. All righty. Let's do it. Coming at you right now. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about Eric DeCosta and the highway robbery that he pulled off in free agency and how that's impacting this team today in November, more than halfway through this football season. And then speaking of halfway, at about the halfway mark of today's video, we're going to get into your questions, our Ravens Rundown weekly mailbag. All of these got asked during our Wednesday evening live show, so they are from the flock, answered by yours truly. Cannot wait to see what they got for me this week. What I got for you guys is daily content, okay? Make sure you subscribe. It's free. And right now, we are on top of our season-long sub-battle against Steelers talk. Look, I'm not cool with just beating them. I want to bury them in the dirt, and I need your help to make sure that that is a possibility. If you have not joined us yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's run this score up. It's great that we're leading. It's not good enough. and we are not close to being done. Again, free subscribe button. Make sure you hit that. So Eric DeCosta has made loads of moves over the last 12 months. If you think about free agency, if you think about draft, if you think about trades, he has been a very, very busy man. Now, some of you agree with the things that he's done. Some of you disagree with some of the things that he's done. Some of you wish he would have done more, and I can understand that take. However, when you think about the signing of Chidobe Awuzie, that might be at the very top of the list, and it is so underrated. It was so underreported, and it was so looked at as, not a bad move, but just kind of a interesting. Let's talk about it, and then let's just kind of not talk about it ever again. Like, obviously, Cheeto just had the game-saving pass breakup against the Cleveland Browns. Did an absolutely unbelievable job in coverage, and then he did what a lot of cornerbacks fail to do. He finished it, right? It wasn't good enough just to break that ball up, but he finished that rep, finished that route, finished that coverage. But, like, if you look at the analytics, he's very secretively been one of the best quarterbacks in football this season. If you look at yards allowed per coverage snap, he finds himself in the top 8 with names like A.J. Terrell, Joey Porter Jr., Patrick Surtain, a ton of other really, really good cornerbacks, 0.65 yards allowed per coverage snap. His PFF grades back up that sentiment as well. Overall grade of 79.1, third best among cornerbacks, 108 of them in the National Football League. His coverage grade, 81.5. Again, third best of 108 cornerbacks in the National Football League. 16 receptions allowed, only 178 yards, and only 1 touchdown. And the reason that we're talking about this as highway robbery, because look at what you paid him. It was a 1-year deal. Base salary of $1.25 million. Guys, are you kidding me? Last year, by Tennessee, he had a contract worth $12 million. And you paid him 1.2, and he's been phenomenal. And it was a big risk because of the injuries he's dealt with in his past, but it's a risk that looks like it's been paying off so far. Given all the turmoil that's happened this season, all the losing, all the ups and downs, all of the hard times that this secondary has seen, especially the first 6 weeks, I would hate to see where this team would be without Chidobe Awuzie. Because it would not be in a very, very good spot. Really, really, really excited about what he's been able to do for this team and all of that on such a cheap contract. Eric DeCosta truly did pull off highway robbery when he signed Cheeto back in March. Grade Chidobe Awuzie so far in 2025. Give him an A, B, C, D, or F in that comment section down below. Weigh in with your answer. Act like you're a teacher, okay? Get those red pens back out. Light up the comment section and give him your grade. Let's get into the questions for the rest of today's show. We're going to start off with Joseph, great first name. Frausto says, #Ravens. Will Josh Allen sadly be seen as better than Lamar if they retire tomorrow because of narratives? I don't think better. I think I think very similar playing fields, very similar conversations for the two of those guys. It's just going to, vary on who you ask which one's better. But I think from a national perspective, they're going to be thought to be very the same. And the reason why is Josh Allen's never made a Super Bowl. He's never won a conference championship. That's the biggest knack that Lamar Jackson gets is his playoff record. And while, Josh Allen has more playoff wins, he's beaten the Ravens twice in the playoffs. But, he hasn't been to a Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson has more MVPs than Josh Allen does. And so that's why I feel like I don't think one's going to be viewed better than the other. I think they're going to both be viewed, if their career's ended right now and they retire tomorrow, both of them would have the exact same view of unbelievable talent, just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Hate to see that they never won a Super Bowl. If they retire tomorrow, that would be both of their narratives. Moggs, hot take. Harbaugh's will to defend himself from being wrong will get Lamar injured again before the playoffs. Moggs, I agree with this take. And frankly, I don't find it too hot, to be honest with you. Gage, should we have that quote that we talked about on Wednesday's show or Tuesday's show, if you don't mind getting up, of what John Harbaugh spoke to the media. Say that again? Yep. Yeah, so John Harbaugh a couple weeks ago, after the loss against the Texans, basically said, hey, look, we're always evaluating change in the offensive line. He said everything's on the table. There are guys that are in that area where they still have to prove themselves. They're starters because they earn that, but you got to keep earning that. You can't plateau. If we're hoping for you to make progress as a player and it's not happening at some point in time, we're going to find somebody else to get a chance. And that's just the way it should work. Well, he said that back then. That was after week 5. Here we are, going into week 12. The offensive line has not gotten much better, even though you've been winning. And he said, you put the 5 best players out there. The 5 guys who are playing the best. That's what you do. That's not even a hard answer. Yeah, we're putting the best 5 players out there, and they're playing pretty darn good. None of our positions are perfect, but they're trying to be. We put the best group out there, and we fight. So his willingness to defend himself and not admit when he's wrong, I agree with you. It might get Lamar Jackson injured again because this offensive line just frankly has not been good enough. He's getting sacked more times than he ever has per game in his career, up to 3.2, and he's getting hit hard, dude. Hard. So I totally agree with that. Attendance squad is next. Out of the injuries you saw on, what is today? Wednesday? The current recording of this video. How many players do you think will play on Sunday? The injury report on Wednesday, Gage, if we can get that up, I still feel good about a lot of those guys being able to play on Sunday. And as we're watching this, you probably have a little bit more information on all of those guys than we do as we're currently recording this. But Wednesday's injury list was pretty big. Roquan Smith, Rashad Bateman, Lamar Jackson, Kyle Hamilton, Keon Martin, Andrew Voorhees, Ronnie Stanley, and Isaiah Likely. I would say the only guy on that list that I would almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but I'd be pretty positive does not play is Rashad Bateman. Outside of that, I would expect all of those guys to be able to strap it up. We got a lot more questions to get to. We're going to do that in just a second. Before we got to talk about our awesome sponsor. Those are great friends over at Ethos. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married a little over a year and a half ago, and I imagine we'll buy a house sometime in the next couple of months, maybe start having kids, and if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can even get up to $3 million in coverage in some policies as low as $2 a day, billed monthly. Need more convincing? Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. 3 million families have completed their applications to trust Ethos to help them find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your quote for free at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary. Rates may vary. Jacko up next. A lot of offensive line talk. In my opinion, is Linderbaum won't sign if Fatty is given right guard next year. Your thoughts? So, I don't disagree. However, if they're offering Linderbaum top market money, he's going to sign, whether it's Daniel Faalele next to him or it's me next to him. Like, he's not going to turn down $16 million a year to be the center of this team. You know, $20 million a year maybe. I don't know. Who's the highest paid center right now? Let me look that up real quick. The highest paid center is $18 million a year at Creed Humphrey. So if he gets offered $18 million a year, it doesn't matter who he's got next to him. I don't know if they'll sign him, though. It's going to be interesting because Travis Jones also going to be a free agent. They're going to have to decide probably between one out of the two of those guys. Interesting to see who that's going to be. But shout out to Jacko, for getting that question in on today's show. Kimberly Harmon is up next. Do you think Tyler Huntley will play on Sunday against the Jets if Lamar don't play? Yeah, I guess it would be Tyler Huntley. And if it were Tyler Huntley, guess what? I think I would still have faith in this team to be able to beat the Jets. If you beat the Chicago Bears with Tyler Huntley, you can beat New York without Tyler Huntley. New York is horrible. and they just traded away their two best defensive players, probably two best players in Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. So if he does play, I'd feel confident in them winning. Henry will have under because Harbaugh will do the opposite of what we need to do. That's talking about carries. And this is our last question, by the way. That's talking about carries against the Jets. I believe I set the line at 16.5. Fierce Outdoors is going with under. I hope that's not true. I do think it will be over, just because you've seen a little bit of an uptick in his production as of recently. I mean, if you look at his last 5 games, he's gotten 18 carries, 20 carries, 19, 21, 25. And so also with Lamar Jackson dealing with a little bit of health stuff, I do think you're going to run him a little more, and I expect you to be up. You're not going to pass the ball. So give me the more on 16.5 carries. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram, both platforms, same username. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. You'll find me here every day with Ravens content. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today's show. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. ATL Ghostface checking in a little bit later. Appreciate you guys for being here. Vari, I see you. Hey, look, we need 8 more likes before we could sign off. 8 more likes. That's it. If you have not liked today's video, I ask you, change that right now and hit that thumbs up button. Gage and I, we pump out content on a daily basis. We do about 10 videos a week for you guys here on this channel. We've done I guess we're 11 weeks through this season. We've done over 110 videos, probably even over 115. We're grinding things out, and it's all because you guys are so awesome, and we appreciate you guys for always supporting us, whether it's liking, watching, commenting. Y'all are the GOATs, and we just need 6 more people to hit that thumbs up button. If this issues keep up in Buffalo, get a contested catcher in Keon Coleman, but have to use him appropriately. I'm not a big Keon Coleman fan, and I really haven't even been since he was, in draft discussions. I thought he was another, what's his name? Quentin Johnson. That's what I thought. Another big receiver who isn't that great, okay? Now, Quentin Johnson's had a pretty good year this year. Definitely better than his rookie year. He's gotten better each and every year. But still, I was never a big Keon Coleman fan. 3 more people. That is all we need. Chidobe really didn't play bad. He plays so good so far. So far, so good, says ATL. Yeah, I could not agree more, man. I really and truly couldn't. Nehemiah says A. Whitney says B. ATL says A-. Hey, I'm just wondering, the merch I won Sunday, does it come via FedEx, USPS? I believe USPS. And Jacko, you'll probably expect to get it in the next, I don't know how long. It takes us a little bit because for all 26 of our NFL channels, we order all our jerseys in bulk from our jersey provider. And so they come to us, and then we ship them out to you. So it just takes a little bit because we order so many at one time. But you will get it. I can promise you that. All right. We're going to get on out of here. Please hit that thumbs up button. And we'll put a video out later today. We'll be again tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, live on Sunday. We got a lot of content rolling out. So consume it, love it, live it, like it. And we'll see you next time. Y'all have a great day. God bless.